everyone. Let's talk about that elephant in the room. That thing that's been kind of hanging over a lot of our heads for a long time. And I know it finally hit me recently. Return to office. I know how it goes. You're sitting there in your soft pants, thinking you have it made. Now, you gotta figure out if your hard pants still fit. Among other things like worrying about pets and childcare and commutes and lunches and all the other things that maybe we haven't been thinking about for a while. And it feels a little bit like your life's flipped on its side a little bit. However, here's the deal. Most of us need our jobs. I know I definitely need my job. So, what can we do? Well, fantasies of malicious compliance can be fun for a few minutes. At the end of the day, is malicious compliance or quiet quitting or whatever trendy word we want to use, is that going to get you where you want? Are you going to feel good every day when you go into work? And more importantly, are you going to be able to reach your professional goals if you don't put in the full effort in your job? My guess is the answer to this is no. And so now, you're making yourself miserable every day when you go into the office, and you're going to be stuck because you're not going to be able to go anywhere now that you're not performing like you used to. So here's some tips. And don't worry, while there will be some positive psychology here, it's not just make the best of it, but really some true practical tips to maybe reframe the situation some, that if your ultimate goal is to eventually get a remote job, maybe these things will get you there. Or if nothing else, they'll make you happier when you're in the office, even if things aren't quite what you want. So first piece of advice is to figure out some way to use your commute time. Whether it's to do something enjoyable, where maybe you reserve something kind of special for that commute time. I know one thing for me, I've often done to go to the gym is I only listen to my favorite music or the audiobook I really am enjoying in that moment, only when I go to the gym. Because if I reserve it for that, it's something to look forward to, and I don't get that reward unless I go to the gym. And think of it that way with the commute, that if you now use this commute time for these favorite things of yours, you can get a little more satisfaction out of them. It gives you something to look forward to thinking, oh, today I get to listen to that next chapter, or this podcaster that I love. Another thing to do is look at this as maybe enrichment time. Maybe you have career goals. You can use audiobooks again, podcasts, any number of things that if you're using public transport, maybe read books that are helping you get to where you want to be. But use this time wisely, that maybe you can enrich yourself in some way. So now you're in the office. You're done with your commute. What are you doing? How can you make this work for you? Well, one thing is to start networking strategically. Your professional network is gold. You never know. Maybe they go to a different company down the one line, and that's the reference you get that gets your foot in the door for your future dream job. At the very least, by networking effectively, you should be able to get a good reference. But think beyond just a reference. What can you do? Well, one thing is to find ways to make the office more pleasant. Maybe you organize some things. Cast a wide net and invite a lot of people to lunch. Invite people to maybe grab a drink at happy hour and wait out the commute. You'll actually be really surprised. In my experience, people were waiting for someone to be the one that does this organizing. So why not have it be you? If you're known as a connector, that can really help you down the line, as you're seen as someone that can help bring people together. So back to just ways to make yourself happy. Try to personalize your space. Whether it's a cube or an office or whatever it is, put up some pictures. Put out a plant. If you've been working on a craft, hang something up. These can be conversation starters with people, again, as part of this strategic networking. And also, it'll just make you feel happier when you're in the office if you're staring at pictures of your cat. But and having these little bits of comfort will just make it a better experience and hopefully make you miss your home office a little bit less. Finally, just do whatever it is you can to make the situation work for your career. Everything maybe in your head doesn't have to be, wow, this is awesome, I love being here. But what you need to do is ask yourself, what are the opportunities for me? What can I do now that I'm in the office that I couldn't do before? Make yourself visible in meetings. Prepare questions in advance. Speak up. If you can be the one that says, hey, I'll lead the working group. Those sorts of things, they make you visible. And working on visibility is going to be a key element to advance your career. So take advantage of it. So really, at the end of the day, you just need to stay positive but realistic about the change. You might be tired. You probably had to shift some things around that have been hard on you. But staying in a negative mindset isn't going to get you where you want to go, either day to day for your happiness or long term in your career. Really focus on the things you can control, which is what you do every day when you're in the office. And look for those opportunities in the transition. Build your support systems and keep track of what works for you and for your team. Avoid constant complaining, isolating yourself because you're unhappy, or resisting all the change. Because at the end of the day, that's just going to make you miserable. And it's going to prevent you from reaching your goals. So now you're unhappy and you're stuck. Don't do that. So there you have it. By embracing these strategies, you can thrive in this transition as you go back into the office.